Gotta get it even if it's in the worst way. That cake like it's my birthday. Yeah, money on my mind, so money is all I think of. Woo! Now this is for them grinding and them hustling niggas. I mean them all or nothing niggas. If all you know is how to provide, your hustle can't be denied, then throw your hands in the sky. Now this is for them grinding and them hustling niggas. I mean them all or nothing niggas. If all you know is how to provide, your hustle can't be denied, then throw your hands in the sky. Cause mama told me never be a quitter, and my city showed me how to get them figures. I'm seeing the bigger picture. I'm living, but you rather see me struggle. Boy, you throw me to the jungle. I promise I'm leaving in a fur coat.
Yo, what it do? It's time for that Culture for the Street podcast. Y'all know what it is, man. It's your dog Paint and Mafia. We back at y'all with a new episode, nigga. It's nighttime and we grinding, nigga. You feel me? Let them know what it do, my G.
Like my niggas in Michigan, my guac boy niggas always tell me back in the day, man, ain't no breaks and no pauses, man, ain't no stopping, ain't taking no reset.
Straight up.
Hustle don't stop, nigga, no matter what's going on. Y'all gonna see us climbing this shit sooner than you think.
For sure.
Right now, we about to get into what's going on, what's happening, the culture of the streets. That's what the fuck this shit is about. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna talk about the awful, terrible boxing skills of Nina Boy and Bosco 100, and we finna get into this gangster shit with Terrence Gangsta Williams and Cash Money and the disagreements they having with him about him putting the murders out to get himself out on his dead homies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. So first, man, listen. I'm gonna say this. Okay, I wouldn't have never knew about the Bosco and Whack 100 fight like that if Nina Boy would have never been promoting it, because he had really been pushing the narrative. Like, he really had been letting everybody know, like, hey man, y'all tune in. At first, before the boxing match, it was supposed to be allegedly, homies meet up and niggas squabble like men.
Like a real fade.
It didn't. So Nina Boy said he wouldn't do it that way. So boom, y'all turned it up a little notch and say, okay, we not gonna try to make it seem like just some gang shit, or we gonna do it in a positive way. We gonna get in the boxing ring. But you kept saying like, boy, I'm gonna beat you, man. I'm gonna swole that nose up, all that. He was saying all that.
All that shit.
And then he was saying like I think he had been going to the boxing club and sparring, if I'm not saying, but he was saying like he had been training for the shit. So I would, how he be kicking this shit on his channel, he be stiff about a lot of shit. So I thought he was finna go in that bitch and just turn up.
Mm-hmm.
Boy.
He talked, I mean, but
man. And then, what's crazy thing about it? Like, I didn't even know that they had done already handled that, because I would have called it fresh. But he had made a video and said like, yeah, the shit is finna come out, like it's finna hit.
Oh, so it wasn't out, so people had access to see it.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, it happened. It's finna hit YouTube. Everybody want to know how it went. You know what I mean? He was like, you could tell the energy wasn't like he had done papped them out. You feel me? It was sounding like he was saying like he was coming with excuses, because he was like, they only paid him like, if I'm not saying like $281. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but allegedly they paid him like two and some change. I'm gonna say that. And he
all these subscribers.
And he said that, he wasn't gonna perform like that for no $280. First of all, take the money out of the equation, my nigga, because that ain't what you said from the gate. You see what I'm saying? You ain't say that shit from the gate. You was like, when I get in that ring, man, I'm gonna do the whole thing to Bosco. That's how you were saying. And bro, man, I ain't saying you ain't no gangster. I ain't saying you ain't never shot no nigga or whatever the case
Shut the
may
fuck
be.
up talking about you gonna beat a nigga up and all that.
Don't say that shit no more. Stop saying that.
Fuck.
Yeah, all
Fuck.
that throwing up gang signs, all that shit like you
All that shit in
just
the alley with the joint lit talking about nigga, cause a nigga pulled down on me. Yeah. Oh well, whatever, nigga. Cause you'll get at this point, nigga, play walking down the street to beat you the fuck up. Like both y'all showcased y'all skills. It was terrible. I see
I'm
everything
talking
at the boxing thing, at the boxing gym around the corner from me. Kids doing way better than y'all. My little homie son right now just went to Vegas and came back a champion. Like he'll whoop them grown ass niggas, and that nigga, I think he like 11. Them
man,
niggas
look.
is terrible, man.
It was and then you know wanna know what's crazy? Like I was trying to give niggas benefit of the doubt and don't say nothing. But the people that was holding the microphone were actually saying this shit. They was like,
Cause it
hold
was
on,
terrible.
man.
That shit.
What y'all scared? What? No, no, somebody said, I'm starting to think none of y'all ain't got no squabbles.
They were
And,
scared,
and
cuz they
after,
were scared. Each one of them was scared the other one was finna swing.
man,
He hit the whole fight. It was an average of 8 punches thrown per round. That's 4 punches per person. Them niggas wasted 3 minutes to throw 4 punches that they missed all of them every time they threw them. So it was like, nigga, out the whole fight, they probably both landed
oh my
3
God.
punches
That,
apiece. Like that was a terrible
that was, that
statistical
was,
fight.
that was,
It was a terrible
and what make it so bad,
of your
what
skill.
make it so bad, Nina boy say he had done trained for it.
That nigga shaped like a motherfucking undone glazed donut. Nigga ain't no
I'm talking
motherfucking.
about, did you see the press conference before the fight? You didn't see the press conference?
I ain't see the press conference.
Oh man, you should have seen how Nina Boy was acting at the
It
press
was
conference. That's
terrible.
how you the way he was at the. You know how they be. When people got to get between them, like he trying to get to the nigga and shit. You would think like, okay, when they get in the ring, boy, that boy gonna turn up.
This nigga
Shit.
Bosco 100 had the body of Lennox Lewis with the boxing skill of Soda Popinski. That
Dog.
was terrible. Granted that you got a long history of getting your ass whooped and shit like that, but y'all was doing all this gang banging shit.
I'm talking about beast.
Like,
Y'all
come on,
speak that
man. And
shit.
then especially Nina Boy. I'm gonna say Nina Boy more because Bosco don't never talk really like he is just whoop on a nigga. Like, but Nina Boy talks like he was the super gangster in his section. He the super smacker nigga, the super high beat a nigga up. Like you're none of that, bro. You might shoot a nigga, but all that nigga, a nigga blow down on you and you put him. A nigga gonna beat your big uncomfortable big ass up. This is a fact, and you can't even get on the internet no more and argue with nobody.
Boy,
You terrible, nigga.
it was some. It was some female from LA. She was like, boy, don't even get online a whole week.
They really
Don't
do.
say nothing for a whole week.
Nigga talking about each other, nigga setting that shit up, nigga.
Uh,
Only to show up and do that. That was the wackiest shit ever.
and what? And you want to know what's crazy? Why did you let Charleston White see that?
But you
He
know,
is gonna drag that shit in the ground.
he more or less attacked them niggas because of Nina Boy talking shit to him like he just, you know what I'm saying? Because Nina Boy do all the gangster talking.
That nigga be hitting niggas up on online and everything. Like you would think, like okay, this nigga here, he gonna punch a nigga down.
And that nigga Nina Boy was out there crying every time he got fouled like he was in a basketball game. Nigga, it's a fucking boxing match.
Man, That shit was crazy. And you know what? The internet is finna have fun with
But they
that.
having super fun with it because that nigga was out there built like an 80-year-old whack 100. Straight up.
Boy.
Leave the boy out of shape, man. Badly. That nigga built like Rock from the goddamn BT show.
Um,
That nigga's terrible. That whole shit was terrible. So much terrible, we can't even waste 10, 15 minutes talk about that bullshit because that was terrible. We got to talk about the professional boxing or something because that shit right there was bullshit. We see better Facebook fights than that, nigga.
we had, you know, why it was important that we do it because at the end of the day, both of them niggas are bloggers.
No, it was important
They're
because at the end of the day, too, the YouTube world need to see these niggas regular as fuck.
yeah.
They regular as fuck. Like I said, like one vlog, it ain't out yet. But a lot of these niggas is characters. Don't let these characters don't take these niggas characters so serious that you think that's who they is in the street. Because a lot of these niggas ain't gonna be that outside. You see that? That's what the fuck them niggas was doing. That shit look washy right there. That shit look crazy right there. Them niggas need to hit the gym.
And I'm talking about them was good cameras that was recording and everything. Like the production was
that
crispy.
was live footage.
That shit was crispy.
Live footage.
Them wasn't no cheap ass cameras, man. It ain't no
It's terrible. They showed
justifying that shit.
In the crowd was gang bangers and thugs.
Yes.
All showed up to perform.
Literally.
That.
You
two niggas can't never. How they talk about LA County Jail? You two niggas better not never go. At the state y'all bodies is in and y'all fighting temperature, don't go outside catch no motherfucking case. Don't do it, nigga. Just don't do it. But anyway, we gonna get into this Terrence Gangsta Williams. We already did a segment on Cub, but it's a lot behind the whole story with him, not just being that he created the Hot Boys and not just that he's Birdman's brother. It's a lot of things that come with that because, you know, he got a lot of time knocked off. He got deals and on behalf of telling on some of his own homeboys inside his clique. Granted, they was dead already. And because of that, Birdman, he took care of him the whole time he was locked down, the whole 20-some years. He made sure he did his brother thing. But how he feel about it in the street now, it's like he don't feel like he can, okay, this is my brother. I could take care of you, but I can't fuck with you out here on no street type of level. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what's going on because when he did the interview with Vlad did a video explaining that Birdman called him to talk to him just in case like Gangsta wanted to do an interview. And then he explained to Birdman like, boom, well, we already did an interview. It's finna come out soon. And whoopty wop. So, you know, Birdman let Vlad know, like, I don't want no parts of that. Whatever he talking about, I don't want no parts of that shit. Whatever. Then, you know, Vlad proceeded to try to ask him a few questions. And, like, Birdman shut him down, like, you ain't finna ask me nothing on this phone. You see what I'm saying? And just basically let him know, like, he'll be contacted and we'll sit down and discuss whatever we're going to discuss. But you ain't finna ask me nothing on this phone. But just that little bit of what Vlad was explaining lets me know, like, the love a brother supposed to have for their brother. Baby has that love for Terrence Gangsta Williams. But he gonna stand on business though, because you've been out here in these streets. Certain exceptions could ruin relationships you got with a lot of people if you make them.
Right.
And that's one of them exceptions he could make that could ruin a lot of relationships based off of what come with that exception. Because that shit was tied to a lot of gangster shit. And a lot of gangsters, whether it come from an op, an enemy, a different project, another ward, out of state niggas, real recognize real, and niggas ain't going. A lot of niggas ain't going.
They ain't respecting it.
It's not gonna be the same, and shit could change because of shit like that. So I understand why Birdman deal with him how he deal with him. I'm not saying nigga home and he fucked up, because if he took care of you for 23, 24, whatever years you was locked up, I'm pretty sure he super took care of you when you came home. But you just ain't gonna see him hopping off the tour bus with Baby. You ain't gonna see him on no stage with Baby.
Nah, you can't eat at my table.
He ain't gonna be outside with Baby.
He ain't gonna eat at the table.
When he put it, you know, your homie's already dead, and to get yourself free, you see what I'm saying? Now, my question about this is, would the outcome be the same if he told on some ops that he knew killed some niggas and they was dead? Because I ain't never heard nobody say nothing about this, as much as I've been hearing so many conversations about this whole subject. If he had told on some niggas that was the ops, but they was dead, about some murders to get out of jail, would the response from people that had this certain tier of love for the Gangsta, would the response be the same? Or would niggas have been like, well, fuck them niggas, they wasn't our niggas? No, you know what I'm saying? Because this is something that I haven't heard nobody ask this shit, bring it up, like, but it make you think about that. Are you solely standing on that because he told on niggas that was y'all niggas, regardless if they did or not?
I'm gonna put it like this, man. In these streets of 2022, this generation, a lot of fuck shit go on. But one thing we know, this generation they will let that bitch go.
They will.
You know what I mean?
But we also know in this generation a lot has changed. Just like Hassan said. He said he was kicking it with a real reputable street dude in New York. This ain't no young nigga. They about the same age. If not, dude a couple years older than him. And he like flat out, Hassan say, dude flat out told him like, yo, I still got mad love for Al Puff. And then Hassan went on to say that, is there an exception now for that? Like, look at the 6ix9ine shit. He still got street niggas running around with him, regardless what he did. That's an exception.
I mean, let's just be honest now. The streets been watered down.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just now it's more visually now. Cause motherfuckers turning their camera on every second, every minute of the hour, so we see more of it. But the streets been watered down for a couple decades now. It's just more lame shit that's going on. And everybody, they know it's okay to be lame.
Because
it's okay to do lame shit, cause you still gonna be accepted at the end of the day.
To me, I think I don't know. I think it's different strokes for different people. Like
just think about it. Just think about it, cuz.
With 6ix9ine, he had a whole bunch of civilians that love his music. They the ones that's still there. With street niggas, when they do shit like that, them street niggas not most of the time still there. Like, nigga rooting for you when you could step down. Nigga, you vanished from the spot.
But but nowadays in certain sections, the niggas that's ratting have the most money. Let's just be real.
Yeah, but That shit
Look
ain't
at nigga. I'm a
I can't
prime
even say that
example.
because they say this shit everywhere, and you
Prime,
can't agree with niggas that's saying that from where
listen,
they're from.
prime example. D.D. Hall, the nigga that was beefing with Brazen.
Mm-hmm.
Look at all that power he had and all that money he had, and this nigga been working.
Sammy the Bull.
Nigga ain't been right since his daddy was in the game, and that nigga he wasn't right back then.
Sammy the Bull.
But look at what his net worth was, cuz compared to a street nigga that ain't got no smut on his name.
And that be the worst.
Of course. It always be the
It be
worst.
the worst.
That shit fucked up. It don't supposed to be like that, but that's the way the shit be.
It definitely do be like that.
You know what I mean? Some niggas play nasty games. They hustle. They hustle, and at the same time, they call the police on niggas too.
With Gangsta though, it's crazy because okay, you did what you did, but to the public, it don't take away from his street shit so much. It don't take away from his street shit, all for the fact that we never got a chance to hear them street nigga stories from New Orleans.
Right.
And he talking about the main shit that we always want to hear. Why these two
Right.
niggas ain't fuck with each other? Well, this why, cause nigga, that nigga over there got dropped. Then they came over here, dropped one of us. We went over there, dropped a couple of them. We was going back tick for tat.
Yeah.
He put it out there. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's another thing that make baby be like, you see what I'm saying? We can't politic like that because you kind of throwing me in the air right now. Knowing these folks been trying to knock me down for a long time. You kind of feeding them gasoline to be like, should we jump back on this nigga ass? If they even ever got off it. You see what I'm saying?
He was saying shit. This nigga riding around with two poles and a vest on.
Yeah, you like
Shit.
y'all was into this and that and this, and that clearly explains why No Limit and Cash Money never was even in the same bill.
Oh yeah, cause it would have got nasty.
And here we just thinking it was egos, nigga, cause they from different projects and they
Oh
having their own
hell no.
you know, but we come from a time too where niggas wasn't gonna get on no interview or no magazine because it wasn't YouTube then.
It
Was
wasn't
magazine.
saying no shit like that.
It was magazines, and you wasn't finna sit there and tell no journalist and no editor, yeah,
No.
you know what I mean? Me and niggas seeing each other on 155th and Lennox and shit. We got to shoot at each other right there. You wasn't gonna do that.
No.
You just wasn't gonna do that because everybody was gonna hit your line. Nigga, what the fuck? Nigga, what the fuck? Hey, cuz, nigga, you need to tell them to take that down. Like, that's the thing to do now.
Yeah. Everybody cutting the camera on when they shooting now.
And it's kind of, you know, half and half with him. But it's the legacy he able to talk about that's holding them together in the eye.
Yeah, his story is solidified in the streets of New Orleans.
You gotta think about it. The story he telling, and this is the fact. The story he telling is the same story we wanted to hear from Soulja Slim about Soulja
Right.
Slim.
We want to hear about the Dooney Boys. Like what he said, his clique was called the Dooney Boys, but I forgot the other day somebody from the Magnolia shared it, but it had Dooney, it had Mosquito, it had Gangsta, and somebody else in it. All the original members.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess the Dooney Boys, who Soulja Slim and Be Stupid them claim, I guess he was they big dog.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying? I ain't heard no other rappers.
They you know, cuz did 23 years, nigga. Slim been dead what since 98, 99, something like that.
Yeah.
So you gotta think.
And they said that them niggas got
Slim at that too, so you know what I'm saying?
they if I'm not mistaken, I think one of them caught like 17 hit like 17 times with a chopper.
And you know, like that story he giving out, it's an epic story because that's a story we would have not that particular story, but them types of stories is we look
We would have been
at.
reading that book if that was a book that was been passed around the chain gang. Niggas would be holding on that book for about a whole year. They wouldn't let nobody get that bitch.
You ain't lying, because that would have been like the Monster Cody book, man.
For sure. On God. They wouldn't have let up off that goddamn book. Who?
Because
And
still
if
him saying the stuff he said, just think about all the stuff he didn't say.
just think about it. If 50 was to get with Gangsta on some movie shit,
It had to be with Fifth.
man. Everybody know 50 has uh his name is cemented when it come down to gangster series, episodes, movies.
And
He
I feel
got
like
that.
he's the only nigga that could take street stories and put them out right.
That's what I'm
You know
saying.
what I'm
Them
saying?
bitches be
Like, he
perfected.
gonna put it out right. Like the BMF shit, watching it, you could see how this shit gonna pan out in these 2-3 seasons ahead. That shit, they gonna be in the groove where it was like
Man,
we was watching on TV, and we gonna be like, this shit lit. Just like
that
he took
nigga.
his life, how he blew up, and then he turned that into a movie, and it blew him up even more because he talked about it on the album, but then he showed you the shit in the movie.
That is one. Not no mean to get off subject or whatever, but shout out to 50 Cent. But that's one polished ass OG when it come down to these gangster series, dog.
It is.
Gotta get that man his flowers.
I
Even
don't
though
think
he
nobody ain't doing it. Nobody has done it better.
no, no, no.
Nobody does.
I can
Now,
see
credit to the Wire because the Wire that shit is classic. It's gonna always be claimed. They never take. So whoever started that, you got to think they influenced younger people to want to grow up and do what 50 did, make his own show. So you got to think 50 come from watching shit like The Wire. In a time
right.
like today, 50 got the money to make similar types of shows, but make them just as good as The Wire was because he understand what we like because he come from it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But you see Master P try to do it, but his shit look cheap. Birdman tried to do it with baller blocking. It looked cheap. So if you want to tell them types of stories, like Birdman can't tell his story and do it himself.
Right.
It's not gonna look right. Just like it's not gonna look right when P do it. They have to go out there and get a 50 Cent, man.
You got to get a mastermind that's it's second nature to him.
You
That
have
nigga.
that, and especially for a New Orleans story, because this story is the story that we've never heard.
This the one.
Yeah, this is the story. I mean,
This
this is
it.
the only thing we ever wanted to know. Why these
This
two niggas from the same ward, just different projects, turned rich and never did nothing with each other? Y'all never did a show together in your city? No, nothing. That's how you knew it was something about it. But you know, we just as quiet as the people that never spoke on it. You see what I'm saying? Because who we supposed to ask why this ain't going? Who we supposed to ask?
and the crazy thing about it, it's an old clip on YouTube when they were saying like Sugar Slim got a half a mil in the Range Rover. Man, I literally saw that shit. They got a little clip or whatever of the Range Rover with they got the half a million in cash in the back. And it's another video with D Boy. I mean the D Boy with Killer Stone and Lat. This nigga got
They really
fucking
be
draws them like they was having their way with that shit.
having
With
their way. That's why Gangsta always stressed that nigga. I didn't give a fuck about that shit because I didn't see no money in it. You ain't gonna see no money in something that you gotta start up when you
right,
already making hundreds of thousands every week doing something else. You gonna be like, nigga, that's a process builder. This ain't no process builder. I'm already knowing in a month I'm gonna clear 500, 600, 700,000. I ain't no process to that. All I gotta do is keep this.
And he was saying there's certain at one point they were saying 40 bands a day selling dog.
But I believe that though.
Shit.
You know what I'm saying? Especially in them times because the shit was more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Whereas today is more cut up, more fatty through
Right.
it, and shit
Right.
like that. So in them times, the money they said they was making, I believe that shit. And then you got to think the value of a dollar back then.
True.
They say a dollar, the worth of our dollar nowadays in the U.S., our dollar is equivalent to 93 cents. So having basically $1 million ain't even equivalent to having a full $1 million. It's equivalent to having 930,000. And then when you add the taxes getting took out of there, they're gonna take 350 to 400,000 of $1 million on taxes. So you actually getting under half of that.
Man,
And
one thing I'm glad that we're alive to actually hear that story, because like you said, that's a historic story that we've been wanting to hear. Nigga, they were saying free Gangsta back when BG dropped Cash Money as an army, but he had a navy. That was way back then.
This how you know this shit run deep as hell, and it's deeper than even a lot of shit that Gangsta put out there, because not one motherfucker from New Orleans tried to put this out there like that.
Yeah.
Not one rap nigga, not one nigga from either project. You know how much clout just a nigga from the Calio cut his phone on and turn into a blogger today, want to talk about all the real reasons why Calio and Magnolia. He would have turned into today's AK-47. Just
right.
talking about that. But niggas didn't want to touch that subject. Nobody. Turk, nigga, Wayne, nigga, nobody said, nigga, this is why these niggas, they just like, niggas just didn't, niggas, everybody knew better than to talk about that Calio Magnolia issue.
No.
And when you think about it, that shit to this day still so sacred. It's bigger than FBGO Block B.
Real talk. That shit all the way up there.
Because them niggas they don't want to speak on this shit. Only reason Gangsta talking about it is because he laid it down about the shit he talking about.
Real shit.
A lot of them other niggas didn't lay it down about the shit they had to go through with this program, so they ain't willing to talk about it.
But this all we gotta give y'all in this episode. It's time for that Coach for the Streets, man. Y'all know what it is. Tune in with the channel. Don't leave about the trapper to what, cuz?
Till they've been served, man. It's time for that Culture for the Streets, hosted by Mafia Paint, man. We out of here. Everybody enjoy their July 4th weekend, man. And, tune back in during the week. We gonna get right back to it on y'all ass. We out of here.